Okay, cool. Yay. So now we're doing these little cool heart. They're tiny. They're actually made out of 6 inch by 3 inch paper. So I basically cut origami paper in half is what I did. And I think I might be able to do the class since I do have my camera really close. I can do it close, do it out of the right size. I was trying to figure out a formula for a 12 by 6 and a you can see my little calculator I was trying. And this is an 8 or 5.5 by 11. So that's for people who have a just typing paper. So, but let me start with the 6 since I've got my camera really close, and that's what I kind of these that's what these are, and they're just so adorable. It just makes me smile when I see them, and I prefer if you have double-sided paper, that's great because if it's color on both sides. If it's not, that's okay. You'll just have a little white base like this, or if you have color on both sides, of course it will look like this. So let's get started. And what you need, if you want to do, just that's basically it. You just need your paper, and you need, if you want to make the little inserts, then you just need a strip of paper, and then you can either write or type, or not type. You could do that too, I guess. You could write or stamp little messages, and when we get back to where we can have dinner parties, wouldn't that be fun to have those with people's names, these little place cards? That's exciting. Once that I'm looking forward to that time when I can actually invite people over and we can put name place cards. So I'm going to start with you fold. What you want to do is you start with your color side up, your pattern side up, and you fold it in half lengthwise. And then you just unfold it. And what you're going to do, this is sort of, I measured for this little guy, it's in centimeters. And I have this little, that's the only ruler I have that has centimeters on it. And since I never really figured out the centimeter thing when I was younger, but what you want to do is you want to mark, and oh, this is not centimeters, that's an inch. I'm going to move it over here. You're just going to you're going to mark 1.5 centimeters, 1.5 right here. So it's just a little hem. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to convert this in inches for you, so you don't have to, if you don't have a centimeter. So this would be 2 centimeters. This would be only 2 centimeters right here. So let's figure out what that is in inches, so you don't have to do this. Okay, so in inches, you're going to want to do a 3/4 inch at the bottom, or one of these marks. I'm going to just write this down so I don't forget. So one little mark would be 3/4 of an inch, and this other one is only, oops, yeah, basically it's a 1/2 inch. Okay, so this for a 6 inch, this will make it easier because the centimeters, I never learned that stuff. So you want to take your ruler and mark 3/4 of an inch on one side, and just a little tick, just a little tiny pencil mark, and 3/4 of an inch at the bottom. And what we're going to do now is with this up, we're going to take the big wide side, the 3/4 inch side, and we're going to fold it backwards, or however you do it. You just want to fold it in this direction. I guess if we turn it our plain side up, we can just find that little mark that we made, and we're just going to fold that, make a hem. So that hem basically is a 3/4. What did I say it was? It's a 3/4 inch hem. And then this side, you turn it over, turn your paper over, so that your next hem, which is only a little 1/2 inch size, I'm gonna have to find it there. There we go. And I'm gonna fold that little hem on this side. So basically you have, if you see what you have the larger hem going behind, and this one coming in the front. So I'm just gonna, there you go. So you can see what you have here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece, everything's folded like this with the hem. You're going to take the hemmed edge, and you're going to you're going to meet at the top edge, and you're going to crease. Just meet it just right on top. There we go. Crease it open it up and keep everything together like this. And you're going to still take this hemmed edge and this hemmed edge, and you're going to fold those to the center, to this crease right here, that crease you just made. Same thing, I'm going to fold that right to the center. So now what you have is something like that. Now, if you just unfold what you just did, and go ahead and unfold this small hem down. You won't need that. Let's see if I can grab that, get that going. Here we go. Okay, so now what you can do is if you turn it, actually you don't need to turn it yet. What you're going to do now is you're going to take this large hem part, you're going to fold the two corners, and I just do it by turning it a little bit, and I've got to find my center crease. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm folding it up, my corner up along to meet the center crease that's for the vertical crease that's going, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so now we've got this going on. And then the next step is, you have this fold, this crease here. You'll see if you turn it over, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 creases here, mountain creases. You're going to fold, you're going to take this crease and you're going to start to fold this along this crease, but you're going to do this. What you're not going to do is you're not going to fold this hem. So this is your heart. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to crease, I'm going to make that crease, but I'm leaving this little shape up, pointing up. And then how I can do this, you just turn it over. You can actually lay it on the table and you can put your fingers inside this little part here. And then I just take this and I'm going to flatten these parts. We did this I think last week, we kind of did this kind of move where we just flatten these little parts. And then we're going to flatten these parts that want to stand up. You just flatten those down to lay like just horizontal right over the crease, if you can see that. I will do this bigger if you need to be. It seems like it might be small in the camera, but I'm not sure. So if you turn it over, you'll notice this is your heart pretty much done. And what you want to do is take these little corners down. I'm just going to turn my phone off for a sec. There we go. I'm going to take these little corners and I'm just going to fold them down just so that I can give that heart shape. And I want to do it symmetrically on both sides. So just however you make those little corners. So I've got these little folded down this way, and you can make it a sharp edge or a round edge depending on what you want, but this is a nice little, it looks very heart-shaped to me. I don't need to make any more folds. So I'm going to turn it over, and the very last folding that we'll be doing is, if you notice, there's this crease right here that goes along right here. I'm going to start to fold my edges. But I'm going to use this heart right here as kind of a guide. I'm going to fold it towards the center crease, and I'm actually going to make it more narrow at the right side. If you see, I'm just going to kind of pivot my paper just a hair so that I have a little bit more narrowed edge. So it looks a little off center, and that's supposed to be that way. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to fold it towards the center, and it's got a little bit of a gap, and then as I kind of crease it kind of gets closer to the bottom. So you can see it's kind of off kilter a little. And that's actually intentional this time. Sometimes it's not, but this one it is. I can even go more narrow if I want. So I just kind of, you can see this is how, now this is, the folding is done. If you can actually, at this time you can make some gluing, but I'm not going to do that today, but you can fortify it more if you want to. So now what you have is you have these 1, 2, 3 creases left, right? There's 1, 2, 3. What you're going to do is you're going to reinforce those creases. You're going to fold those creases so that you have this mountain kind of, you're just folding these. This is going to be a tab where you're going to place, and this is over here is a pocket. So what you do is you just put it together by inserting this tab into the pocket and then letting it slide down, and now you have an adorable, actually it's supposed to be a chop rest, or it could be a pen rest or a brush rest. It was actually designed in Japan to be a chopstick rest, but I thought it was so cute to be able to put it like a little message inside, and I'm just going to do one here. And you can just take some ink or a pen or whatever you want to do to make a cute, something to make you smile, or maybe a reminder. Just put it somewhere on your paper and then stamp or write. Not when it says create, because that's what I'm supposed to be creating. And then you just take your scissors. You can cut it to whatever length you want. I'm just going to cut this part off. And then I'm going to maybe have a little bit so I can insert it into the heart. And this little heart has a nice little pocket right in the front that all you need to do is slide that in. So you can change your messages depending on your mood, or, or you, like I say, if you had a dinner party, you can change the names. But I think it'd be fun to give it to the people, give it to your guests and let them take it home. So that is like a little message, heart with a message. And you could put anywhere to just make yourself smile or make your loved one smile. If you want to make them flat again, you just take them out and you can just fold them back like this. And you can mail them that way if you want to mail them. Or if you just want to store them, you can just, just fold them flat and they will store nicely and you can use them again and over. What you could do too is glue some of this. I wouldn't glue this part here because that's your pocket. I wouldn't glue this section at all, but you could glue this bottom two sections to make it a little bit more sturdy right in here. You could just glue those and keep that pocket going, and then you've got a really cute thing. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it again. This kind of could make a bookmark too, come to think of it. I'm going to do it again on a bigger sheet, and just to this time I'm not going to measure and see what happens. So this is a 12-inch by 12-inch by 6-inch. So it's basically a 1x2 dimension. I'm just going to fold that up. Go 1x2. So you just basically, whatever your width is, you double the height. So it's a 1x2. So this is going to be, I'm just going to try. I'm going to fold it in half. So we'll see if my theory works. So I was really worried about the exact dimensions, but I don't think it really needs it. So I'm going to take this part. I'm going to fold it at about, I'm just kind of winging it. It's about a little over an inch. It's just a kind of a narrow hem. And this one is going to be a little bit bigger, but not twice as big, but just a little bigger. Well, maybe about to here. Just kind of winging it. And I did mark it earlier, but I'm not going to pay attention to that. Just going to do it as if so I've got I'm back to my square one again. So I'm going to fold this folded hem to the top edge. And I'm going to cupboard fold the two ends to the center. And I'm going to open them up. I'm going to let that one open all the way. Don't need that. And then I'm going to just basically take this top, the wide hem, and I'm going to fold these in the corners toward the center on that. So this is where the heart is actually formed. And here you can do different things to your paper. You can even color this side of the paper if you want, however you want to do it. So now I'm going to so if I look at my creases, I've got these 4 creases. I'm going to fold this heart on this crease. I want to fold it this way, but I don't want to fold this layer. So I'm just going to start the fold right now, just kind of find that, and I'm just going to kind of turn it over so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to crease. So I just want to do it along that crease. And I can do it this way too. Just take it and fold it down and get my fingers inside there and just kind of flatten it this way. And then pull these over, flatten it. So this is going to be a little different, but I think it's going to work still. We'll find out. So now I'm just going to fold my corners down, and I see that they are different in proportion. I'm just, as long as I do them symmetrically on both sides, just kind of going behind this thing, and I'll look and see what it looks like. It looks like a heart to me. So now I'm going to take my edges and I'm going to fold them towards the center. And I'm just going to use this paper edge as my kind of my guide. where I need to make that crease. And then I'm just going to just kind of narrow it a little bit by pivoting towards and having it go towards the center here. Same on this side. I'm going to use this little part back here. This little, the heart will be my guide as to where I stop that, where I begin this crease. And then I'll just kind of narrow it. Same thing, do what I did before. So now I have this long piece with the more narrow at the bottom and wider, a little wider at the top. Let's see if this works because I didn't measure anything. So now we have, or we're going to just take our creases and reinforce what we already have, not making new ones. And I see that my heart's going to stick. It's a little long, but it still should work. And I'm going to just take my pocket and I'm going to tuck it into or take my tab and I'm going to tuck it into the pocket. Now it still works, but yeah, it works fine. So, but I could see I could have gone a little more narrow on the hem. So basically the theory, we'll see if it works. So now I've got an 11-inch paper. And so I'm not measuring again. And I'm going to fold it. And this one I'm going to do this side. I like this side, it's brighter. This is a double-sided. I got this on Amazon, and it was an A4 size, and I just cut it down. So I'm going to fold it in half, lengthwise, open it up. I'm going to make a little hem at the bottom, and I'm going to make a slightly bigger one at the top, but I'm going to fold it backwards. It's about 1.5. It's not that big, much bigger. It's about 1.5 or about a half larger than this one. I'm just going to kind of see what happens here. So I've got a little bit this length or this width here. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to taking my folded edges, and I'm going to fold those just fold them in half, the whole thing. I'm going to crease, and I'm opening it up. I'm going to fold the 2 hemmed edges right to the center where I just folded. And I'm going to bring that here like this. And now we open it up. Take this little hem out. You don't need that anymore, but you want to keep that one. And you're going to fold the corners on the wide hem is going to have that corner, these corners that get folded towards the center. There we go. Now the crease, remember this crease here is what we're going to fold on next. So I can do it, just need to find that crease. It's right there. So I need to start that fold, and the best way to do it is maybe just if you turn your paper down so that the point is facing you and you've got a little pocket like this, you see where that crease is. It's right there. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to start that fold, and I'm going to let those little heart, this part come out. And then I'm going to turn it over. Now I know I've got that crease started at the right place, I think. Nope, it doesn't look like it. I got to go a little farther back. There we are. So you can just use that crease as your guide, and then you just put your fingers in and kind of flatten everything. And then same thing here, just bring these little corners and flatten them. And then when these little guys want to pop up, just take that little folded edge and just flatten it right over. And do the same thing on the other side. So now we're back to where we just need to make those little heart corners. Or however you want to do it. You can make it more narrow or softer, like let's say if you want it, you could fold the little tops down if you want, just like what we did in our heart last week. You just could fold just to change the shape of the heart. Make it a little softer. You can do the same thing, and you can glue those down. So let's just take a look at the heart, and it's a very nice one. And I can see that the point kind of meets. So there's probably some mathematical thing, and I'm so terrible at math, but there's probably something. But the idea is to get this heart to meet at the bottom of it to meet at this crease. And I'm sure if somebody does a math, they can tell me how to get the formula. But it still worked by not measuring. So All right, the very last steps are to fold these long edges towards that center crease. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to fold it as far as this will let me go without, I don't want to fold the heart paper. And I'll crease it right now. And then I'll just narrow, bring it so that it's a little kind of, I don't want it to go over the crease, but I want it to kind of meet it. So it's a little bit wider at the bottom than it is up here. Same thing. Take this part, I'm going to fold it right where that little, right at the edge where the heart, the paper is showing. I want that just to be slightly behind that heart paper or the heart shape. And then I'm just going to crease it. So now I've got, this is like this. Okay. We reinforce the creases that are already there. And now we have our finished model that all we need to do is assemble, tuck in the pocket into the, tuck the tab into the pocket at the top, and ta-da, it works. So it does work without measuring. It just needs to, I like this one a lot. So if you find one that you really like, the dimensions and the proportions are exactly what you want, just gently unfold it, and then you can actually, you can still put it back together. But if you unfold it, you can just measure. Actually, you don't even have to measure. You would measure, this is the easiest thing. You don't even have to take it apart. If you measure just this section here, let's say, so I'm going to measure it, and it's exactly, it's a little under 1.5. So it's 1 and 3/8 from here to here. And that's how you measure that. And then of course, this worked out fine, this little bottom hem. So that one is 7/8 of an inch. So these are how you figure, once you get one that you really think is perfect proportions, then just write it down, or you can actually go here and do the same thing. You would just measure from the center of the heart to the outer edge. Oops, if I can find it. Inchwise, that's a little over 3/4, so it's like 7/8 of an inch. And then your little hem is 1.5 centimeters, but it is really, on the inch scale, it's 5/8. So that is the kind of a non-technical way of reaching your proportions the way you want. And that means on any size paper, you can kind of, sort of just experiment if you wanted to do it on a larger sheet or smaller or in between. This just basically, there's probably a mathematical thing, but you just have to wing it, wing it with me, because I don't do the math thing. What you could do too is then make your part here on the, let's say, well, this would be cute. So just take a slightly larger strip for your message. However you want, just to see what kind of length, see how far this will go in. And then you can just put a message as long as you want, write a note, or you can even fold it. It might be kind of fun. And this pocket really, really works really well, just to hold your messages. So there we are.